When you are battling dark forces, okay, it's an art, and it's not about the fight. It's not about the battle. As soon as you strike with your sword, you've lost. As soon as you strike in a forceful way, you've lost the battle. They've gotten you. And that's because you've exercised with your will and intention a power over dynamic. You see what I mean? So I had a lot of shadows to deal with stepping into true power. True power means shadow work, and a lot of it, because in the past, all of us who are called to this kind of thing throughout the journey through the Milky Way galaxy and beyond, we have all experienced the abuse of power. We've all experienced how we abused power over others. Okay? That's our shadow work. That's the shadows, the things that we have to unravel and bring compassion for and forgive. So a lot of times we have to release the beings that we've tortured. We have to release the beings that we've caused great suffering for. There's lots of layers, and I'm not talking about just on the human level. We've done this on many levels, okay, including dancing with AI, TI constructs. Okay, that's a really big level that impacts all of humanity right now. Okay, so when it comes to stepping into your power, as soon as you strike a blow, you've lost. You've lost. So, how do you then counteract dark forces if you cannot strike? Oh, you also cannot defend. That's the other thing. You cannot strike and you cannot defend. Then what do you do? What do you do? Well, you are in that situation because you are challenged to navigate the situation. It's a razor's edge. Slightest little tilt one way or the other, you've lost, you're off. It's a razor's edge. You are challenged on how to put one step in front of the other, staying in complete impeccability and integrity with who you truly are. And who are you truly? You are love. You are light, aka awareness. You are infinite. So you are faced with the challenge of staying within that river flow, that infinite river flow of who you are, that infinite fountain of the love of who you are, and that infinite conscious awareness that you have the ability to be in. Okay? When you're coming from that place, you realize what's in front of you is not a battle at all. And that is where the right action to take comes to you. When you are no longer in that battle, you're not in the battle. That other being is in the battle. They're ready to strike. But that's not where you are. That's not what you see. You see something completely different. And so, what do? Depending on the situation, there's lots of different scenarios here. If it's a human, I talk to their soul and I offer to wake them up. I offer them a different choice. If it's a Dark Lord, same thing. But see, the Dark Lords are much different to work with because they are in another dimensional, they're in another outer nesting doll. So I need to be not only completely, aware of that nesting doll, but even beyond I make contact with how they became a Dark Lord. And there's a big reveal. There's a huge reveal. He's a Star Wars series, huge reveal. Because in that series, it reveals to the human race that Dark Lords are made. How are they made? They're tortured. They're tortured by their fear until they take an action that they can't come back from. And we saw this in those Star Wars series. In this case, it was Anakin Skywalker. What was the action he took he couldn't come back from? Slaughtering all those children. He couldn't come back from that. It's not that he couldn't redeem himself. He could not let himself be redeemed. You see what I mean? Because he did that. So Dark Lords are tortured beings themselves. See, this is what I mean. You have to see beyond that battle. Because as soon as you strike with your sword or you defend with your shield, you're in the battle and you've lost. You've lost. There's no way to win. Another, and this is the part I really want to leave. I want to leave you guys with thinking about when it comes to facing darkness, when it comes to facing shadow. Do you guys remember when Luke Skywalker? I'm assuming you guys have seen these movies. These are old classics. There was a series of scenes where Luke Skywalker was on this planet studying with Yoda, with the last Jedi Master, right? And there was this place where the dark force lived. And Yoda, he's like, what's in there? And Yoda says, that's the dark force. That's the dark side of the force, right? And Yoda tells him, you can go in there. Oh no, he asks what's in there. And Yoda tells him, whatever you bring is what's in there. So Luke brings his lightsaber, and Yoda says, you will not need that. But he brings it anyway. So he goes into the cave of the dark forces. He goes into that cave, has a battle with his lightsaber. It does nothing. And so what he sees, he himself strikes the Dark Lord, chops off his head. And then he looks and sees himself. His own head has been severed. Okay? In that was a very deep truth being shown to him, one that he was afraid of. His fear was used against him, one that was shocking, one that he could not accept. You know, later on, of course, in the movies, he accepts it and he realizes the truth of it. But it was, this is the whole thing about dark forces, it was a truth that he was not ready to own and recognize yet. Okay? So he forced his hand, he forced it when he went into that cave of the dark forces. He wasn't ready. But when you're ready, it's a whole different ballgame when you go into a cave like that. The truth, you now have a relationship to the truth when you're ready. The relationship to the truth is your power, is your superpower. Dark forces has power over you when you do not have proper relationship with truth. When truth is so scathing, you reject it. When truth is so scathing, it wounds you. Okay? This is why this work that we do is so freaking important. So the truth, no matter how scathing, is something that makes you stronger. It is something that brings you closer to yourself. It is a pain that you can navigate to bring you even deeper into who you really are. See what I mean?